Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I think I have the audio levels figured out. Voice is coming through nicely. Okay, so this is just an update video. I'm going to be busy the next couple of days. I was going to put a video out on the rail cars. There's just a little bit more to that and I just want to throw a little bit more information into it. I have been testing. As you can see, I put rail in and I've just been testing it, testing connections. The next thing I want to do is just test the crossings. And then in the last video there, I want to put it all in there. Yeah, just because there's a few things just to cover. Making the switches and that sort of stuff. Then making sure the train can move through the switches and everything else. Yeah. And so with that, I might as well just provide a quick little update on, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the helicopter. We'll do a fly around. So there's been a lot of development so far. The city's about half done. Alright, so essentially I've got these parking lots everywhere. Those are going to be the zones, right? That's where you're going to find the cars to tow. That's where you're going to find the garbage bins. That's where the deliveries are going to be. That's sort of how I'm going to handle all of this, because there is a lot. But then hidden around all of that, you're going to have NPCs, you know, that you can interact with, where you'll be able to do missions, right? So the idea, I don't know. I don't want to throw out the concept there because it's changed a couple of times, but there is a concept to it. There will be a game, and yeah, you'll have to interact with NPCs to help you finish the game and unlock certain things, right? Unlock rail, you know, maybe unlock heavy equipment for construction and all that kind of stuff. So it's coming along. It's coming along. The terrain is getting there. So the first half of the city is complete. There's a bus station, airport, rail hub. Second half of the city, we're going to need a delivery type setup. And maybe one or two other mission hubs. Probably what's going to happen is there's going to be a distribution hub there where the player can go and get materials that they can distribute around the map. And then there's going to be a mail station. That's what we'll do. That's going to be the final 3 stations here on that half of the city. And then of course it's going to be all buildings, smaller buildings, that kind of stuff. So it's just giant city, right? And then I thought, you know, that's cool and all. Let me just make sure the Roblox is turned down a little bit here. Yeah, so you'll be able to interact with a lot of these buildings. So I still haven't added any code. This is all still just working on the map. So as you can see, I've put in these little zones. And then there's roads, right? There's all these little alleys everywhere the player can drive around. Which I just thought was really important. We want infrastructure. Yeah, so the second half of the city over there is just basically going to be like this. Alleyways and small buildings, and there's going to be another little hub in there. So as far as rail goes, let's see if we can come down over here and find the railroad tracks. They're going to wrap around the map. So we got the bridge here. It was a real pain. The train doesn't like to go uphill. At least this train that I have built doesn't like to go up hills. So there is another way to design it, and that's kind of what I want to go over too. That'll be like a part 4. We'll go over just a different kind of way of getting the train to hug the track and all that kind of stuff, right? Instead of just sitting on top. You know, because this is a classic way to build a train, but it doesn't mean it's the way or the only way to build a train in Roblox. There are lots of other ways. Like I was thinking maybe for passenger rail, we're going to do something really neat. Something neat for that. So anyway, so that's that. Rail wraps around. It's important that it follows the road, because if we ever... What's going to happen is I'm going to bring the crane. Yeah. I don't know if we'll have a rail crane. We might need one. But we're definitely going to have the mobile crane. The big one. And that's what the players can use if their train flips over to correct the train. Yeah, that'll work. So yeah, I mean, it's massive, right? There's a depot at the lumberyard. There's going to be a depot at the garbage dump, because that's where we export our cars. And you'll be able to use rail eventually to export your cars. More of them, all that kind of stuff, right? It's all part of the game. All this stuff is part of the game. The player is going to have to use all of it, you know, in order to really succeed. So yeah, so we have the lumberyard here. And this kind of is going to lead into the second city. So the second city, that's going to be coming up probably this next weekend. I'll be starting to develop that part of the map, this part of the map. Sorry, just having some coffee there. Yeah, so this is the lumberyard there. We have our rail station there, so you can export lumber to the cities. Now, as you can see, so one city is accessible by rail. This city here is only going to be accessible by truck, because it's deep in the mountains. That's going to be the idea here. As you can see, I haven't quite finished yet. But it'll come around. Sorry, my cat. There we go. There, he's got it. You got it, bud. He's having a good morning. We went for a car ride. He got to eat some grass. So yes, as you can see, the second city is just going to be massive. It's going to be as large as the first city. Originally, this was just going to be like a camping area. But on the back side of the city, it's going to be like a cliff going down to the ocean, and what I want to do is I want to have some buildings there and some nice roads to drive on. So lots of infrastructure, right? It's a driving game. That's why we wanted the driving infrastructure. Oh, there's the rail again. Right, so this still needs to be developed. It's just going to be a landmass like that, and it's not going to be totally covered in bushes, because I think that's just going to be too hard. But it'll be sparse vegetation. And this side here, of course, is going to be roads and whatnot coming into there as well. So there's still a lot of infrastructure that needs to be placed. Garbage dump here. I'm sure I have rail hub set up. Yeah, right there. So this road is going to carry up to there. Then, of course, at the end of the track, there's a turntable, so you can put the train on there and it'll turn the train around, and then you can go back with it. So this on this side is going to be a toll booth, right? This is kind of like the main highway here. There'll be a toll booth here. There it is. This is the main So as you can see, I just placed the railroad tracks. I haven't put the infrastructure out here just yet. All that still needs to be worked on. That's going to be another week before. And this is sort of the end of the line. Right, you'll be able to turn your train around and whatever. And then this is just kind of like a bay. We're on the other side of the island. The city is way over on that side. And we can build like this right now because there's no code in it. Once you start to add code to the game, it's really gonna start to add size to the game, and that's where we want to be careful. We want to try and have that balance. Yeah, that'll do it. And then of course there's another little level. Wow, that was quite the trip. So I need to put some more helicopter pads around and some fueling stations for the helicopter. So that's that. Work continues. And that's why I want to throw out there. I don't want to haven't come to a complete stop yet on this project. It is big, and it is just taking a little while, that's all. A lot of it is terrain. It's the terrain and it's planning. You know, because I thought, okay, I built the city, and then I need to add rail. So before I really fill this in with like farmland and serious agriculture, which a lot of this is going to be farmland and stuff, I need to, you know, have a plan, right? So as you can see, there's rail there. There's another rail hub here. I'm not too sure what that's going to be yet. This over here in the middle, this is the car dealership. Right, so you'll be towing cars from the city. There's going to be a few things to it. It's not all about that, but that's kind of like your main, you know. Like I said, I don't want to reveal the strategy. As you can see, I got some roads here, right? So, and then I'm just going to build some roads here, and this is going to be agriculture. This is going to be forest, sparse forest over here, and some more roads, right, for the player. And then this here is going to be sparse roads and forest as well. So it's going to be pretty thick. That's why before I add any code, I want to see what the map is going to look like, and that's going to sort of tell me, you know, these things. So because it's like a race car, it's like a racing game element to it. A lot of these open areas here, these are going to be more quote-unquote the race tracks, right? So you can come in here and then you can take a race and all that stuff. So there's going to be a whole system for that. Yeah, and that's kind of it, right? So the player is you're in the city and you need money for consumption in the game, and to do that you know, do missions, right? Yeah, so that's kind of the premise of it, and there's a little bit more to it. And that's where you have to interact with NPCs, and NPCs are going to need things, so you'll have to go and get those things for the NPCs, and that's what makes the game. And we're going to go through that. We're going to go through all of that coming up. This is, like I say, this is a big one. The last time I did something this in depth was Blue Trucking City, and there was a lot to it, and that game still isn't complete. But I feel in this one here I'll be able to expand a lot more on all those concepts. I've made a lot of those concepts, and I've seen the good side and the bad side of a lot of it. So what we're going to lay out here is just a complete plan from start to finish. Because yeah, that's a big part of it. Interaction is a big part of it when you join the game. You know, finding NPCs and doing missions and having to go and find objects to bring back to NPCs and stuff. I think that's really cool, right? It forces the player to, one, explore the map, and roll through the game, and that way the player doesn't just join the game and there's like, oh my goodness, there's 100 things for me to do, I'm lost, what should I do, right? We can kind of spin them in a direction. Yeah, so that's that. Once again, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. In the next video is going to be the rail video. Until then, enjoy.